Okay, so Lewis, should Romo get his job back?
I don't really think it's a question of should, Ryan. I think this is really an issue of, and I know it sounds crass, and it sounds very, it sounds mean to be quite honest with you, but this is a replacement league. It just is. And by that I mean this. You are brought into this league knowing that at some point in time, especially when you get up in Tony's years and have his resume of injuries, that the replacement becomes more and more inevitable. And that's just the way it goes. That's what all of us who have played in the NFL understand. And this is why I think Tony at this point in time understands that his days in Dallas may be numbered, and he's not really making waves about this anymore. Because quarterback play and performance at the quarterback position, and just overall in general, but specifically at quarterback play, is something that, you try to line up all the things the right way so you can get the maximum kind of performance that you're getting out of Dak right now that you are getting, but you never know if it's ever going to hit the way you want. Right now, they have caught lightning in a bottle, and I don't think it's just lightning, meaning it's just a one-year wonder. I think they've set themselves up for the long haul here, and I don't know if you really want to disrupt that, given the fact that they are relevant, they're playing at an extremely high level, and I'll tell you what, other players who understand what Tony is going through and understand how ego-driven quarterbacks are, because you have to be. You have to have a tremendous sense of self-pride and self-worth and have a tremendous amount of confidence. Other players who have played that position have come out and said, hey, look, even if it was me in this position, we understand if Dak stays the starter here, and we think Tony should accept the same thing. So long story short, and I know that's long-winded, but it needs to be put in that context that, look, Dak is playing, and he's playing at a high level, and a historically high level for someone of his years. You got to leave him there.
Look, I know it's a win-now league, but are you saying that doesn't set a negative tone in the locker room? Doesn't it make other guys look around and say, look, I do something to my knee, my leg, who knows what could happen? I could lose my job in a heartbeat.
I think that goes back to initially what I said, which is players understand that you brought into this league to be replaced, and that, again, it's cold. It's a cold business. And I think guys understand that the best kind of ability is your availability, without a doubt, because this team, look, have you ever been to an NFL practice and you see guys get hurt? You see coaches say, move the drill up 5 yards. Trainers, you take care of him. We're up here. We're trying to work. That's how it works in football, and that's how it works in football, especially at the highest level, because it's a business, and guys understand it. Whereas Dallas is very much so appreciative of everything Tony has done. They right now are getting more national attention than they've had in years for all the right reasons.
Let's bring in Dan Solomon. Dan, what's the reaction from Cowboys players and Romo in particular? Is he taking this in stride?
Well, he seems to be, yeah. I'm sure he's disappointed. I don't know who wouldn't be disappointed. But, the team is winning, and that really does matter, and he's a part of it. And I'm sure that he's got a relationship with Dak Prescott that means something to be a part of that as well. So I don't know. I haven't, spoken to Tony Romo or any Cowboys players about this, but I expect that they're winning and they're happy to be winning. And, when something like that happens in an unprecedented way, where you've got a fourth-round rookie coming in to replace a established starter, and he just leads you like this, I think that everybody is excited to be a part of that.
Dan, you think he's seen his last days in Dallas?
It would be hard to imagine how he hasn't. It's very rare that someone comes in and does what Dak Prescott is doing right now, and if that's the case, then I think that Romo will be, looking for another job pretty soon. I think that there are teams that would love to have him. I think that there are, certainly teams that would be delighted to have Tony Romo as their starter. He's still, anytime he's played when healthy recently, he's been great. But, yeah, I think that he's probably, I don't know, I think there are probably 25 teams in the NFL that would trade their starter right now for Dak Prescott, and the Cowboys would be one of them.
Not a lot of quality quarterbacks out there, Lewis.
Yeah, you're right. There isn't, and he will be in demand. But let me go back to saying this about how this would go over in the locker room. Having been in those locker rooms and seen hotshot young rookies come in and kind of take the locker room over, some of them take it over in a positive way. Sometimes there is some resentment. I'll tell you what veterans respect. Veterans respect dedication, preparation, performance, and humility. And these guys have all four of those. These guys are dedicated. They're prepared. They are performing at the highest level on the biggest stages so far. And they're humble about it. You don't see either Dak or Ezekiel Elliott, for that matter, kind of trying to make it all about them, trying to bring the spotlight on them every time they do something good. These guys are really into the team. They're not into themselves. Veterans respect that, and veterans understand that the train keeps on moving.
Real quick here, though. Let's flip the script. What happens if Dak has a bad game or two? Do you pull him, put Romo back in, and damage his potentially damage his psyche?
Yeah, I don't know if you want to do that at this point. I really do think unless he gets hurt or unless there's like a major downward swing where you might want to put Tony, where you think that it's going to be something that's going to be sustained, although I don't know how you really make that determination because everyone has bad games. The greats have bad games. You have to expect there's going to be a bump somewhere. I think you ride it out at this point.
So you think it's Dan Prescott's team at this point?
I think it's Dak's until they don't play anymore, which may be the Super Bowl.